Let's get right into it. Number 10, perfectly useless goosebumps. You're not cold, you're not scared, you're just mildly listening to a song and suddenly your skin's like, hey, remember the Ice Age goosebumps? Scientifically called piloerection, used to be a great survival feature. Your hair would stand up, making you look bigger to predators or trap heat in freezing weather. Now, unless you're trying to intimidate a very small squirrel, it's purely decorative. In the modern world, goosebumps are basically your body's retro mode, a leftover instinct that triggers when you're cold, emotional, or listening to a killer guitar solo. Your ancestors used it to survive mammoth encounters. You use it to survive Netflix finales. The only functional purpose it serves now is letting you know your playlist is Chef's Kiss. Basically, goosebumps are your skin's way of yelling for glory while the rest of your body's just trying to eat popcorn. Number 9, extreme ear wiggling. Somewhere deep in your brain, you have a set of muscles dedicated to moving your ears. Back in the day, this was incredibly useful for early humans and animals. You could detect predators without turning your head. Fast forward to now, and the most action these muscles get is when someone says, "Hey, can you wiggle your ears?" and you awkwardly twitch your forehead like you're trying to understand algebra. About 10–20% of people can still do it, and it's completely useless unless you're auditioning for a party trick competition no one asked for. If you could combine it with a spidey sense for gossip, maybe it'd be worth something. But right now, it's the evolutionary equivalent of still owning a fax machine. Number 8, phantom itch GPS. You ever get an itch in a spot you cannot reach without performing some Cirque du Soleil backbend? Congratulations, your nervous system just issued a pointless side quest. Itches are supposed to alert you to bugs, irritants, or bites, but for some reason, your brain also throws them in random, inaccessible places like the middle of your spine, aka the Bermuda Triangle of personal hygiene. Evolutionarily, this made sense. Early humans had each other for grooming. Now you're just alone in your kitchen, contorting like a pretzel against a doorframe, looking like you're trying to seduce the fridge. Functionally, this feature is like a smoke alarm that only goes off when you can't reach it. Number 7, unconscious blinking sync. Your eyelids are drama queens. They close roughly 15–20 times a minute. And half the time, it's not because you need to, it's because your brain is just bored and wants a micronap. In the past, rapid blinking helped reset your vision and keep your eyes moist while you were scanning for predators or prey. Now it's mostly you syncing blinks with the slowest parts of a conversation, like your eyelids are trying to politely check out. Even weirder, your brain sometimes syncs your blinks with other people's during conversations without you realizing it. In the wild, that might have been a subtle communication cue. In 2025, it's just your eyelids joining the group chat nobody invited them to. Basically, you've got this built-in metronome for awkward social situations, and you're not even aware it's running. Number 6, hyperspecific nose memory. You have the ability to remember thousands of distinct smells, and your brain wastes it on knowing exactly what your old high school smelled like. Once upon a time, this skill was survival gold. You could sniff out fresh water, ripe fruit, or a predator nearby. These days, it mostly works for instantly recognizing grandma's house or the smell of your ex's hoodie 3 years later. Your olfactory bulb is like that friend who can remember every useless detail from a party 10 years ago, but not their own email password. The real kicker smells are directly tied to your brain's emotional memory system. So now you're sad because you walked past a bakery that smells like the one you cried in after failing your driver's test. It's not exactly a superpower when your most intense primal response is to the scent of Cinnabon. Number 5, perfectly timed shiver. You're just sitting there, minding your own business, when your whole body decides to do a little electric dance. That random, full-body shiver you get, scientists think it's a leftover thermoregulation reflex from when our ancestors needed micro-adjustments to body heat. Today, it's basically your nervous system hitting the refresh button for no reason. Some theories say it's your body's way of shaking off a minor temperature drop, but most of the time you're not even cold. It's just your inner operating system throwing a small, dramatic fit like a cat doing zoomies at 3 a.m. Useful in the Ice Age, completely pointless in a climate-controlled office. Number 4, sleep while falling reflex. You're drifting off, all cozy, when suddenly, boom, your body decides you've fallen off a cliff. That jolt, called a hypnic jerk, is your ancient nervous system still trying to protect you from tumbling out of a tree in your sleep. Early humans and primates often slept off the ground for safety, so this little spasm would wake you up before you roll to your death. Now, unless you're dozing in a hammock or passing out in a questionable airport chair, there's zero chance you're in treefall danger, but your brain, oh, it's still on full primate mode, convinced you've fallen into the void. It's basically your body hitting the panic button for a problem that hasn't existed in thousands of years. Also, bonus humiliation if you're in public, everyone gets to watch you do a half kick, half flinch like a startled baby goat. Number 3, the sudden swallow. There you are, just living your life, and suddenly you gulp. Not because you're eating, not because you're thirsty, just a random swallow. This is your esophagus flexing its ancient self-cleaning muscles, sweeping away invisible dust, saliva buildup, or maybe just out of sheer boredom. Back when eating mystery berries straight from the bush was normal, this was handy. Now it's just your throat doing unpaid janitorial work for a workplace that's already spotless. Most of the time, you don't even notice it until you do, and then you can't stop noticing it. Congratulations, your brain has just installed the awareness of swallowing app and there's no uninstall option. Number 2, spontaneous word forgetting. You know the word, it's right there, your brain even knows what letter it starts with, but instead of delivering it to your mouth like a normal language processing organ, it just wanders off. This tip of the tongue phenomenon is a weird byproduct of your memory system's filing system. You've got the concept, you've got the shape of the word, but the delivery truck got lost somewhere in neural highway construction season. In the past, losing a word probably wasn't a big deal. You'd just grunt and point until your tribe understood you meant sharp rock or big scary cat. But in the modern world, you're standing in a meeting, stalling while your brain's like, hang on, I'll get it in about 3 to 17 business days. Number 1, superhuman balance sensors you never use. Inside your inner ear, you've got these tiny fluid-filled canals and microscopic hair cells acting like 24/7 balance guardians. They're called the vestibular system, and they can detect the smallest tilt of your head with ridiculous precision, as in, I can tell you just leaned 3 degrees to the left precision. Early humans used this to navigate rocky terrain, climb trees, and chase prey without face planting. You use it to stand in the shower without dying. Most of its raw potential is wasted because you spend 90% of your movement on flat, predictable surfaces. This is like owning a high-performance race car and only using it to drive to the grocery store. It could be a superpower. You could tightrope between skyscrapers or balance on a rolling log in a river, but instead it's just there to make sure you don't trip over your own feet while microwaving leftovers. And when it does kick in for something impressive, like catching yourself mid-fall, you instantly ruin the heroic moment by pretending you totally meant to do that. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.